Good morning, Hoosier Nation, alumni coast to coast, wherever you may be. Welcome once again to Bloomington, Indiana. We are pregame I-Association Live, the edition this morning coming at you from Memorial Stadium adjacent. I'm Kurt Simic, representing the I-Association Board of Directors. The man behind the magic, behind the camera is Aaron Harrell.
Hello, hello.
And it is another reunion Saturday as we celebrate not only, I believe, the first women's golf reunion in quite some time, if ever. We're looking forward to meeting some of them. We're also celebrating the 2013 College World Series baseball team with Coach Tracy Smith and others hoping to join us today. Speaking of reunions, our first guest is going to tell us a little bit about another one that we hopefully have planned. Nancy Miller, another one of our board members and water polo alum. Tell us what you got planning and what the date everyone can look out for is.
Well, this is an unofficial save the date for the MPSF, which is the water polo conference that we're in, is having the conference finals here in Bloomington on April 26th, 7th, and 8th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're hoping that we can get an official save the date out soon for that. Well, we'll probably make it a weekend thing, but because I know people will travel from far, hopefully, to come and see us. And for that Saturday, though, we're planning on having something in the auditorium at the SRSC.
Kind of a historically significant thing for our program. The first time we're hosting the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Championships.
Yes.
And that includes UCLA, USC, Arizona State, Stanford, Cal, and San Jose State. And what would you like to see? What if you? We'd obviously like to get a chance to gather as many people as possible. We'll be reaching out via social media, and we're waiting on contact information. So if you have not filled out the alumni survey.
Yes, there is an alumni survey. If you go to iuhoosiers.com and go under water polo, up in the right-hand corner, there's a, I wish I should have looked at the link, I guess. There's a little thing, and it has a Hoosier alumni survey for water polo. Just ask a few basic questions. But if you can fill that out, you can reach out to me on the I-Association Board website. I mean, anything, I don't know. We want to get it together. The IU alumni, or IU water polo, has their Facebook page, so we're hoping to get something out on there. Need to talk to the coaches and get that out there, but we're trying to spread the word. So been trying to make a list of people. I've come up with about 200 alumni, but there are some that aren't on the website.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
there's always like those people that get missed.
Yes, yeah. So hopefully once one person from every team we can at least get, and then they can reach out to teammates that they don't see their names on the list and such. So hopefully we can get a lot of girls here, because it would be awesome to have not only the support for IU during this, during the conference finals, that would be great, but just to see everybody again. It's been a long time, so.
Well, have they ever held a reunion before?
We had one when Ryan Castle was coach, and I'm not good with dates. I don't know my name.
That's okay, yeah.
But we did have one, and I attempted to play, and I decided I would never play again. Because after so many years out of the pool, it's not something you just pick up and do again. But it was a lot of fun. It was, just great to see the people, or maybe get a dinner at Nick's on Friday night and then go enjoy some of the games on Saturday. And
that'll be awesome.
It's Bloomington in the end of April, so
you can't beat that.
It's a great time
and
to
the
come
weather's
back to.
Perfect.
Yes.
And in case you're wondering, it is the weekend following Little 500 weekend.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's right.
No conflicts with that.
Come stay for two weekends.
Come for the week.
Right?
Yes.
But it's a great opportunity to showcase not only the program, which is definitely enjoying one of its finer periods in the last 20 years, 25 years, but also a nice chance to show the conference and those new Big Ten members, USC and UCLA, just exactly what Indiana is all about, and welcome them into the fold, if you will. So save the date.
Yes, please. And come, like I said, touch base. Somebody reach out to somebody, and they'll get a hold of us that we can let you know what's going on. But
that's right, and that's April 26th, 27th, 28th.
Yes.
Awesome. That'll be fun. Maybe we can have one of these.
Yes, we would love to.
Absolutely. It would be great to not only for those who are here, but for archival purposes, like we always say, but also to reach out to those who can't make it.
Yes.
That's right.
Especially girls from the first team, that's something that we have not been together as a team in 26 years. So I think it would be awesome to try to get as many of the older girls back as we can.
And
So.
for all those alums who
Young ladies.
are from the Bay Area or still in the Bay Area,
Yes.
October in the Bay Area and April in Indiana, basically the same
Basically
thing.
the same
Beautiful
thing.
time to be here.
That's
So.
right. They remember.
They do.
Remember.
They do.
That's right.
So, Nancy, appreciate your time and enjoy it, and we'll work more on that and hopefully get the word out.
Yes, thanks, Kurt.
Thanks for
Aaron.
joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Go Hoosiers.
Let's take a break. You go find another
Let's
guest.
go find
and
somebody.
Then, we will be back in just a moment.
Back here once again, Eye Association Live with Aaron Harrell and Kurt Simic, and what better way to celebrate the 2013 College World Series with the skip himself, Tracy Smith. Welcome back. Fantastic to be here. What does this mean to you, this whole thing?
Well, this was obviously a huge part of my life professionally and personally, because our boys raising the family in this gorgeous town. But I was saying on the drive down, I can't remember last time I've been back. So pulling in, a lot has changed, I will say that. But it feels great coming home.
And last night had the dinner and everything. Saw some fantastic pictures. There must have been a story or two told as well.
Oh yeah, in typical fashion, I'm not dumb enough to know that. As a coach, they don't sit around and make fun of you at these things too from all those years. So, but it was really good. And the only thing I could think of when I was watching the room last night is this is why you do it, that fast forward of 10 years down the road, part of that successful team. But then we always talk about, and all the coaches, there's the sport piece, and then who are you going to be after? And so you get a kind of a glimpse into that at events with the kids or the guys in their family. I call them kids, and they've got
That's right. That's right.
So, but it was really neat to see. Had a great time catching up with them last night.
And obviously much success putting guys at the next level and just following all of that. What does that mean to you personally, and knowing that you had a part to play in just some terrific careers?
Well, it's fun. And, the guys that are still playing, it's cool to follow them. The guys that are running companies and in sales and all of that, again, goes back to what I just said. It's kind of when the fast forward and you look at where they are, it's great. And, of course, Kyle keeps us interested during the playoffs.
That's right.
But, no, it's all good, and it just goes like that. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years.
Yeah, and those watching and those from around the country may remember your family. Mm-hmm. If we could have an update on what they're doing.
So we got my oldest, Casey, who was a part of the World Series team, is in Scottsdale. He and Sierra married the national champion cheerleader there at Indiana. Brought a grandchild into the world here recently. They're in Scottsdale. My middle son, Ty, who played football here, is a sports agent, actually on the baseball side with Rosenhaus Sports. And then my youngest, Jack, is on the football staff up at Oregon.
Oh, fantastic. And
awesome.
And one quick, because we both love the guy and the family, one quick reminiscence about Zach Metzger, who I know was there last night.
Coach Z, Coach Z, he would not have missed that for the world. And when he comes in here, I just think it's so cool to have tracked that process from getting to know that family when my boys were actually playing at Bloomington North, and that relationship that all of us, not just inside the baseball community, but he's a huge IU women's basketball fan, as you know as well. But seeing them last night, and it feels like coming home.
Yep.
So awesome evening.
And just a great story, great family. And that speaks to the loyalty that exists and existed when these guys were together, and still obviously for the turnout we had.
Well, we put him in a tough spot last year during the Big Ten baseball tournament because I made him wear opposite colors.
Yeah, so, as long as it's not purple.
Well,
as long as it's not purple, we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you, Bloomington.
Exactly. Well, I was asking him last night. I think we play. Michigan plays Indiana baseball, and I said, "Who are you going to root for?" And he said Indiana. So.
Either way, you can't lose.
Exactly.
Either way, fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, Coach, I do have a question that we try to ask everybody. What's that one memory from that team, other than the obvious?
Yeah, I'll
the
tell
World
you.
Series
I mean, that's a great question. For me, it was kind of leading into the Super Regional with Florida State. We were, no one gave us a chance to compete or certainly win that, Super Regional. But I remember when it was all said and done, we come out and knock them around in 2 games. They were doing the press conference for Florida State in advance of ours. But I remember just kind of sitting on the floor outside waiting to go in, and just that feeling of like, yeah, we did this when nobody thought. And again, Mike Martin, one of the best coaches of all time. But I almost felt like they were, you put in the headlock and rubbing your head, hey, it's nice for you guys to be here, but there's no chance. But then sitting there with like, okay, we're rolling out of town, Victoria. That sticks in my mind with that group of guys, and being able to do that in that environment, and how rare and cherishable that moment is.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good story, and we can't thank you enough. Yeah.
Appreciate your time, Skip.
All right.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Great to be back.
Terrific.
Yeah, thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Kurt, you go find us another one.
Let's do it. Welcome back to Bloomington once again on this Saturday morning prior to the IU-Wisconsin football game, and we are honoring the 2013 College World Series team. And the guy who's got to follow Skip in this chair, Dustin DeMuth, welcome. And just for archival purposes, tell the folks at home your years here, position, and just what it's like to be back here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all, and thanks for honoring us today. It's a great day to be in Bloomington, and it's always amazing to see these guys. But yeah, Dustin DeMuth played third base from 2011 to 2014. Was on the College World Series team. Can't say enough about my teammates, the coaches, and everyone that had an impact on us while we were here. And like I said, it's a great day to be back. And last night, the dinner, I'm sure there were 3 or 4 stories told. Some of them that probably you wouldn't like to share, but some of them you.
Maybe a couple drinks had last night.
Yeah, there were a few mixed in there. Yeah,
celebrations, I'm sure.
Just a little sprinkled in. So.
best memory of the whole experience? What's that one thing that'll stick with you forever? Maybe there are many, but what sticks out when you see these guys?
Yeah, it was like a family getting back together, to be honest. I think that's why we were so good. We had Kyle Schwarber and Sam Travis and those guys that were amazing baseball players, but the other guys that didn't get as much recognition, they were perfect for our team, and that's kind of why we were so good. I think, getting back with them and just spending time with them and seeing how everyone's kind of diverged through, after baseball and gone into the professional workforce and all that stuff is just amazing. But every time we get back together, it's like we didn't miss a day. So it's pretty amazing.
Give us an update. Where's life taking you since IU?
So my wife and I are up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. After I stopped playing in the minor leagues, I got into physician assistant school up there. So I'm working as a physician assistant up there in the Parkview Health Network in orthopedic surgery right now. So,
and Aaron, your question?
Yeah, what's the that one memory from that from that year that sticks out, other than obviously the obvious going to the World Series, and then the family atmosphere? What's that one memory or that one game that stands out to you? Coach had a really good memory that stand out that wasn't part of the College World Series, but what's that one thing that stands out for you?
Yeah, I think as the season went on, we were always projected to be pretty, middle of the pack, Big Ten, I think, that year. And, we knew we had a special group of guys, and I think we kind of got on a roll, and we went on I think it was an 18-game winning streak. And, as that kind of started, we kind of, looked around the room and we were kind of like, we got a shot. Like, we're going to be, we can do this, right? So I think, like, just that cohesiveness and, like, once we got on that roll and things just kind of fell into place and everyone knew their role and just took, took pride in what they were doing, even if they weren't hitting the home runs, if they were getting people over on base, those things, that's what really made us good, to be honest. And I think going through that 18-game stretch, that was just something that clicked. I remember, looking at Casey Smith was my locker mate, and I was like, hey, we got a shot. And he's like, let's do it. Like, and we kind of, rallied together and became a family, and it was just amazing.
So a huge moment, not only establishing culture over here, opening up the ballpark, but that moment, the regional, of course, over the moon for that, some come from behind wins. Then the trip to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
What was that like, knowing, again, realizing not only do we have a shot, but we're about to face a perennial power on their field?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think their crowd is they have some of the greatest baseball fans in all of sports. So we didn't really know what we were getting into going down there. And I think the first game, we kind of I think we got a lead and we were kind of playing. We're like, hey, like, we can play with these guys, like, this is Indiana, like, we can represent on the national stage. And I think that's when we kind of surprised people that weekend. I'm going down there and going 2-0, and it was just an amazing time and a great trip and so many great memories from that.
Fantastic. And just welcome back. Glad to see everybody together, and everybody so overjoyed. And when we welcome reunion groups back, some of them have been back, some of them have not been back. How often do you get back down here?
We usually try to get down. My wife and I, she played volleyball here at IU, so we usually try to get down at least for a baseball or basketball game, a couple football games, and then a volleyball game every now and then. So I would say 2 or 3 times a year we kind of come back and relive the glory days for sure.
That's always good.
Search for your picture in the assembly hall.
Show
your kids.
Yeah, on the drive down, we always reminisce. We're like, all right, how many years out are we? And it's 10 years. And my wife said to me on the way down, she's like, can you believe that's 10 years ago already? And I was like, no, it seems like yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. My 20 years coming up, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. But it's all, like I said, it's always
we can edit that out, can't we?
Oh, it's all right. We're on YouTube. It's okay.
Well, like I said, it's always great to be back in Bloomington. Couldn't have a better day today. I mean, it's always amazing to get back for a football game, and the atmosphere and the feeling when you step on campus is second to none.
Fantastic. Dustin, thanks for spending the time. Welcome back.
Absolutely.
Glad to
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time today. We'll be back. We'll send Kurt to go find another guest, and we'll be back right after this.
Back once again at Memorial Stadium adjacent with Aaron Harrell. I'm Kurt Simic. Once again celebrating the 2013 College World Series team, and with us, part of that pitching staff, Aaron Slagers. Welcome.
Thank you.
And look in the camera, tell the folks at home, years here, hometown, and kind of what it's like to be back after 10 years.
Yeah, years here. Fall of 2010 to the spring of 2013, so 3 years. I was drafted after my junior year. Hometown, Scottsdale, Arizona. Now it's where I reside again today. Just absolutely great to be back. I think we have at least 30 guys participating in the reunion weekend this weekend. Guys from the big leagues, guys that stopped playing from IU, and we all just love this city, this town, each other, like the day we left.
And last night, I'm sure there were a couple of stories told,
yeah.
here and there. Some of you may not want to share.
A couple drinks had last night.
I'm a little short on sleep, but not short on stories. So.
As you look back on that experience, what have you carried with you? And give us an update. What was your path after IU?
Yeah, so if people remember, I was drafted in that Super Regional Series in Florida State, which was really exciting when both myself, Dustin DeMuth, and Ryan Halstead were all drafted by the Minnesota Twins. We were all roommates. Then we went to the College World Series, of course, and then after that World Series concluded, I started my professional baseball career, which lasted about 10 years, 10 seasons, parts of 5 in the major leagues, until a shoulder injury kind of took me out of the game last year, a recurring shoulder injury. So now just living the dad life. Have a newborn baby back at home who's was unable to make it with my wife, but yeah.
How was the transition, and what did Coach Smith instill in you guys? Why did that team come together, and why is that such a special group?
Yeah, he treated us like men, and he provided us the framework of holding each other accountable, holding each other competitive. We were all incredibly competitive in everything we did, and then he just kind of let the camaraderie that we all had just kind of breathe, and he provided us the framework of competition, the importance of being a professional in the sense of showing up every single day and doing your best, and taking kind of practices off despite it being cold. We're in the Midwest and weather's not incredibly conducive for baseball at all times, but you still have to show up and do your best. And then within that framework, we just be competitive.
And that obviously translated really well for several of you guys who played at the next level and all that.
Yeah, and I think there's no surprise about the guys that the kind of success from a guy who gets drafted, which you have the tools to play in the big leagues, to then ended up making it to the big leagues. Kyle Hart, F. Ross, of course Schwarber, like those guys. Once they got drafted and they left IU, it was almost, we hit the ground running in professional baseball because of what Tracy taught us how to carry ourselves here.
Okay, the story Dustin DeMuth told us a story about he and Casey kind of one day looking up and realizing, hey, we've got a shot at this thing. What was that moment for you? When did that come together? Did you guys know going in?
I always remember my junior year fall. So we were done with summer baseball. If people don't know, when the IU baseball season ends and classes are over, we all go our separate ways across the country and play amateur baseball leagues. And Sam Travis and Kyle Schwarber and Dustin DeMuth were in the best collegiate summer baseball league there is, called the Cape Cod League. And when they came back, they kind of instilled that sense of belief, and they said, guys, like, we have as good of a team, if not better, than any team in the country. The talent was great in that Cape Cod League, but we've got just as good a talent. And they kind of instilled that belief that they took from, the playing with the most elite players in the country, from the top Vanderbilt and things. And they said, the talent we have in this room is just as good as what we saw out in the Cape Cod League. And we started practicing like that and playing like that, and that sense of belief to get to Omaha in June kind of was started that August when we got on campus.
Which led to a groundbreaking history-making regional here.
Yep.
And then the trip to Tallahassee. What was that like, going into an environment that's not very conducive to visiting teams winning.
The most hostile, pound for pound, the most hostile environment I think I've ever played
Really?
in, including
the bigs.
Fenway Park. I mean, they've got 40,000 people at their disposal to scream at you. But Tallahassee, those 8,000 people that were in that building might have been the most hostile environment I've ever seen. So I don't know. I forgot your question, but that
You answered it.
Yeah, you answered it. Yeah. What I do have a question, which I've asked everybody this. What is that one memory that stands out from that 2013 year when you guys made it to the World Series, other than the obvious, the World Series, maybe not the Tallahassee trip, but what stands out that year? I know you guys went 18 straight wins. So what stands out for that year for you?
Well, I guess I'll answer that in two parts. On the field, it was Chad Clark's home run against Valparaiso, the walk-off, the one of the greatest ninth-inning comebacks I've ever been a part of, I've ever seen, fan, player, otherwise. And Chad Clark hit that walk-off home run in the bullpen at Bart Kaufman in the first year of that Bart Kaufman Stadium. And we wouldn't. I don't think we would have got out of that regional without that home run from an unsung hero that came off the bench, kind of a player that most IU fans, wasn't in the top 5 players on that team, if you will. So that was an on-field, and then an off-the-field was just how we were all. You would just look around in one of our apartments, and there would be 15 guys hanging out on a Tuesday afternoon after practice and stuff. When we were just with each other all practice, we had morning weights, and we still just hang out and watch, basketball together in the evening. The way it was just 30 of your best friends, and why the participation of this reunion is so high.
Oh, that's fantastic. And trust that is built.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on game day, not necessarily, but in the times alone. So, what does it mean? I don't know, how often do you get back, and what does it mean to be back on this weekend particularly?
Yeah, I try to come back once a year. When the older you get, it's a little living on the West Coast. It's a little more difficult, but try to make it out for one of these weekends once a year, basketball game, and text, call some of these guys and try to make a weekend out of it, because it's just so great to be back. It's just one of the happiest places on earth, Bloomington, on an eventful weekend like this.
Absolutely. Aaron Sligers, thanks for your time. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Welcome back, and we'll honor you between the first and second quarters today. Football game.
Looking forward to it.
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks so
Go
much.
Hoosiers.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Back once again on Saturday here at Memorial Stadium prior to the IU-Wisconsin football game. Again, honoring the members of the 2013 College World Series Indiana Hoosiers. And we have a 2-for-1 here. I'm in the shot, aren't I? That's good. So for archival purposes, tell the folks at home, why don't you introduce yourself, maybe hometown, years here, and position, and just tell us a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Scott Donnelly. I grew up in Crown Point, Indiana, so Hoosier native, and absolutely love coming out here to play ball for Indiana. I was grateful to be in the 2013 College World Series team. I played left field, designated hitter as well, too. So, yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah, same. Brian Cordy, graduated 2014, just a year after the College World Series, and was a pitcher, lefty pitcher, and did a little bit of everything: relief, lefty specialist, starter. So a good 4 years, and it's good to see everyone again.
We've been asking everybody. Last night there were probably a story or two shared, I would imagine. Some you can probably share here, some you would rather not.
Locker room talk.
What was the atmosphere been, and how often do you guys get back, and what was the atmosphere having so many guys together to celebrate last night?
Yeah, it was great. It's funny because it's like you blink and 10 years go by, and it's just like we were all together yesterday. It's just one of those things that, it was a culture that we had, and we embraced it. That's why I think our team was so successful. Is every one of us are best friends. Till this day, it's like we didn't skip a beat, and just great to get back with everybody.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, it's a special type of relationship when you don't see guys for a couple years, multiple years, and you can kind of come back and just kind of leave off where you were when you graduated. So the same jokes, all the relationships and everything. Nothing really changes. It's just now you got a couple people with some kids, rolling around there. But as far as everyone, it's the same group that made us so special.
We've asked everybody so far, from Skip all the way down. What was it? When did you realize that this team was gelling, that this team had a shot? How special this group would be?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty early into the season with it, but when we went and played Florida and ended up sweeping them in Gainesville, I think that kind of solidified that, hey, this team is here for the long haul. And to me, that was one of the key series that we went through and had, and the momentum and the ball just kept rolling and rolling after that.
Yeah, I think you really don't realize the talent you have, especially as a northern school. And back in the day, I think Big Ten baseball wasn't really looked upon what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do go south early in the season and play some of these teams, you're a little bit intimidated. But I think as we got some of those series under our belts, we kind of felt like, why not us? Like you can't beat us. We got the pitching, the hitting, and everything like that. So it was just kind of putting everything together, and obviously the relationships and just the camaraderie. I think that was a big part of it, all that stuff. So pretty special.
Yeah. And what did Tracy mean to you, and what was part did he play in really making sure this group came together and reached their potential?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great part to help mold the team together. I think one of the biggest things is he let us be us. He knew that we're a very tight-knit team. He knew we were very special, and he let us just kind of stay together as a team, hang out together, not try to overdo too many things, and it was a great time with that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Early season, you do all the training and the practices, and once the season starts rolling, I think we had a point where we didn't lose for multiple weeks, and it's one of those things where you just kind of got out of the way a little bit and just let us roll as a team. And at times when we had rough spots or lost a game, he'd bring us back, as a group, or kind of remind us who we are and why we're special. So we had Tracy, but we also had coaches within that too, Ty Neal and Ben and all those that amazing, just helping us as a team and kind of grow throughout the season.
It was obviously a record-breaking year for you guys, but even before the whole thing started, opening up the ballpark, playing that regional at home, which the dramatic walk-off fashion of that first win and sending you on your way, and then the trip to Tallahassee. Reflect on that, and then what was the feeling going down there? If the why not us thing, did that waver at all once you got down there?
I mean, I think you get down there and you kind of see the fans, but at that point in our where we were, I mean, coming off a high, and here in Bloomington, I think that was the point in the season where you go from Florida in the beginning to Florida State. It's almost that point of like we were not intimidated. It was like we were here to win, and a hostile environment and all that stuff, but I don't think it played a factor whatsoever. We knew who we were, and we knew we were a team to beat, and we just went in there and did our thing.
What gets it? And we've also asked everybody, is there one game, one moment, one inning, one week that stands out above everything else? What would that be for you guys?
The week of the College World Series it's an experience that, leading up to it, it's something that you dream of, and you play the game as a kid to get into a situation like that. And I mean, it was just a surreal moment to go through and be treated like that. Omaha, Nebraska's amazing fans, amazing group, and it was just, that whole week is something that I would never forget. And I wish everybody could go through and experience it. And it's just, as a true fan of the sport, it's just something that just is one of the greatest feelings you could ever have.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention our mutual friend, my former student, Zach Metzger. What's Coach Z doing? But what was he behind that? He was kind of the driving force in a lot of ways behind that. And I guess he was last night too.
Yep, Coach Z's always there for us.
Fan number one. Fan number one. I told him yesterday. He was saying that he now has a Michigan shirt with Skip being up there, but I said, IU Crimson, that's your number one. So like, whenever I see you, you got to have that Crimson on, and he assured me that he's still there and he's still IU. So it was great to see him, his parents, and everything like that.
Outstanding folks.
And that's what we had to tell Smith. Make sure that, hey, good luck this year, but hope you finish number 2. So
we'll take that, guys. We really appreciate your time and welcome back, and thanks for being with us a little bit.
Yeah,
no,
go
thank
Hoosiers.
You, Kurt. Go Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
We are back. Memorial Stadium adjacent with Aaron Harrell behind the controls. Kurt Simic on behalf of the Eye Association Board of Directors. Once again, thrilled to be celebrating the 2013 College World Series Hoosiers, and once more, and just more guests, and we're going to keep them coming. There's a line behind you. We're going to get to everybody we can. Why don't you tell the folks at home introduce yourself and a little bit of background for you.
Sure. My name's Christian Morris. I was a freshman in the 2013 team, originally from Gainesville, Florida. What not to say. That time here was special. Loved being a Hoosier. Wouldn't change anything in the world.
And last night, the huge gathering upstairs, and just we've heard story after story, and that was special. What does it say about that group that so many came back just to 10 years? It's difficult. They've got professional lives and families and all that. Why the huge turnout?
Yeah, I'm going to say not surprising at all. For people on the outside looking in, it's probably virtually impossible to get that group back in the capacity that we did. But I'm not surprised at all. It's just kind of testament to the way the team was built, the way Tracy Smith and leadership recruited players, and the way we just became so much more than a team, but a family. And we all come from different backgrounds of life, different walks of life. I think we all bleed the same blood, and it's cream and crimson.
And a great start to your career. What after IU? Where did life take you?
I actually pitched for the Yankees for 5 years, and had a lot of fun, met a lot of friends, and then gave up baseball, just battled some injuries, and got into the real world, joined the corporate world, but always a Hoosier baseball at heart.
Well, and the guys who ended up playing beyond college have said, what types of things here prepared you for that next step?
Everything. The ability to play as a team, the ability to be able to push yourself beyond what you think is limits of capabilities just because everybody else was able to push and propel you to that next step. And that's something that I carry with me on into my professional career, is I think we have work ethic, belief in ourselves, and the Hoosiers are just tough to beat. They don't go down easily, and that's a mentality we all took.
That's been a common phrase, and the other thing people have talked about is off the field, the camaraderie and the trust and that sort of bond as well. That's very special, and that's got to. We find that doesn't happen everywhere, and
right.
you probably had teammates beyond that did not come from that environment and all that. And
absolutely, playing with different guys from all over the country after college. Not a lot of people had that special bond with their college alma mater, but mostly their team. And I always use the joke of, I think because of baseball, I can couch surf my way through all 50 states. And most of the time, I think I could stop at a Hoosiers house.
That's not a bad thing at all.
That's right.
I haven't had to use it yet, but I have it in my back pocket.
Hopefully you don't have to do that.
It's nice to know
hopefully you don't have
it.
to couch surf.
Exactly.
But what? During your freshman year, what was it that, what story comes back to mind? You made it to College World Series, you won 18 straight, but what stands out to you other than the obvious from your freshman year? Yeah,
great question. I think the biggest thing for us was really just the transition from going from Simbauer and having the really lackluster facilities, if you will. Especially someone coming from like me. I grew up in Florida. I committed to Florida State originally and then came to Indiana. It was something was different about this team and this program. There was a promise of this new glorious stadium and this, bolstered team, but it was all hypothetical. And you got to give the coaches credit. They sold the dream, but every single person was just bought in. You never heard negative talks of why don't we have this, why don't we have that. We had that mentality that you're only given what you earn, and I think that's what made this particular team so special. Is that?
Now I'm going to ask the obvious question. Okay.
Yep.
Super regional. You committed to Florida State.
Yeah.
And then you go down. You come to IU, and then you go down and beat them.
No better feeling in the world. No better feeling in the world. It felt like. Sticking it to an old arch enemy, almost. Yeah. What a surreal story, from someone like me, my freshman year to go into Florida, where I grew up 5 minutes away, and take 2 out of 3 from them beginning of the season, really put IU baseball on the map. That started that series to then transition to just demolished Florida State in the Super Regional. Let's call it what it is.
That's right. That's
to
right.
move on to the College World Series. So
Absolutely. Got a few Seminoles who probably disagree with that, but pardon us.
That's okay, right?
check the scoreboard.
That's
Well, and we've heard from everybody when they knew that this group not only was something special, but in Dustin's words, you have a shot.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you?
You know, I really think that moment for me was when we were playing. That's a good question. Wow. Thinking back, I would say when we were in the middle of that win streak and we started knocking off teams and going into tough environments like Florida and then all of a sudden going on the road in the Big Ten, and it just seemed like I feel like a lot of teams prepare with the hopes of winning. We prepared knowing we were going to win. And that sounds very cliche and very cocky, but it wasn't that. We weren't arrogant in the fact. We were just confident that everybody was going to be one step better than the person they were going up against. And I think that moment, probably mid-April, I was like, I'm a part of a really special team, and this team could really, really do something. And then you go on that 18-game winning streak, and you're like, it just became a reality. This is going to be a team that nobody really wants to play. And I think that was the transition for me. And if you ever needed to say, if anybody was bought in, how could you not be at that point in time?
Yeah. And pretty soon you're walking out in Omaha.
Exactly.
Before you know it.
Absolutely.
Led by our mutual friend, Zach Metzger. Talk about Coach Z.
Oh, man. Z. Well, you know, you can't do it without him. I can tell you one thing about Z. He's the hardest critic you'll ever have, you know. But what an inspiration. What a guy. Demand excellence and got it, especially from this team.
One of a kind family. And just, I don't know how often you get back, but what has this whole experience been for you?
Wow. You know, for me, I don't get to come back as often that I'd like to. This has been an amazing experience to come back. And we talked last night. Some of us were out together. Well, all of us were out together because that's kind of how this crew goes, you know. But it's just like for us is like you really pick up right where you left off, you know, because in that team I was a freshman. And players just left. It's like one day you spend all of your time, literally all your time with a group of guys, and then some graduate. Season's over, you know, Omaha was over, and then you lose 4 or 5, and you take for granted that you'll never see that group in that capacity ever again. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just so surreal to come back, and I think everybody's kind of thinking it in the back time of their mind. We're staying out late doing stuff we did when we were children, and everybody's thinking, all right, what time is practice in the morning? And it's like, wait. That was 10
You don't
years
have
ago.
to wake up for practice.
In the morning.
You don't have to wake up for weights tomorrow.
Exactly.
Curious, having played at the next level, the highest level, what was the most challenging environment you ever played in?
Wow. I still think the most challenging environment I ever played in was pitching against Michigan in the Big Ten tournament in 2014. Mm-hmm. I just think that particular, just the way it was, the way the game was supposed to start at 7, 8 o'clock at night, it got delayed all the way until almost midnight. And then to just be able to go head-to-head with another one of the top competitors in the Big Ten, and Brett Adcock, very good left-handed pitcher from Michigan. That was the most fun because for the first 4 or 5 innings, it was just as fast as we can get back out there. We were back in the dugout, and he was doing the same. Mm-hmm. And I think that just made it special to cop the environment and all the elements of surprise.
And open the new ballpark in the right way.
Absolutely.
Regional record crowd, walk-offs, and everything else in between, and you end up there. Christian, thank you so much for your time.
I
Welcome back.
It. Thank
this
you so
has
much.
Been so much fun visiting with you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Back here once again, Eye Association Live with Aaron Harrell. I'm Kurt Simic on behalf of the Eye Association Board of Directors. We are celebrating the 2013 College World Series Hoosiers, and with us, one of the more well-known, higher profile, but no less important as members of this team, with more to come behind. Sam Travis. Sam, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Really a lot of fun hearing all the conversations. Talk about dinner last night. We're hearing that there was quite a time.
Yeah, it was good to see everybody. We're all family, and being back on campus, it definitely brings back a lot of memories, and you reminisce and seeing everybody. Just a lot of laughs, a lot of emotion, and we love each other, and that's what it's all about.
And this has been a common thread, and that's why you guys did what you did, and the bond was established there. You want to ask yours?
Yeah. What's where are you now? Tell us, everybody at home that happened to watch this video. Tell us, what you do, where you're going.
I was actually playing with Alex Dickerson last year. We were both in Long Island, New York, playing for Wally Backman, Long Island Ducks, independent ball in the Atlantic League.
Awesome.
Actually Daniel Murphy was there. A lot of big leaguers around. But still playing, still getting it going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For those of you in the last 10 years from Bloomington, the path took you ultimately first to Boston.
Yes.
And then beyond there, give us an update. For those of you who didn't follow you all the way through.
So got drafted by Boston 2014. Was in the minor leagues, debuted with them in 17. Then I got traded to Texas after 2020. I played a year in AAA with the Seattle Mariners in 2021. And I've been in indie ball since, still trying to get back in the game or get over to Japan or Korea, wherever.
That's awesome.
Lifer.
Make something happen,
That's right. That's right.
What did Tracy and his staff mean to you guys as far as preparing you and for you the next level, the ultimate level?
Tracy, he's obviously a fantastic coach. All the above, you can't hear enough about the guy. But he was just, as a person, as a man, he helped us become men, and that was a big part of coming here and turning us into the men we are today. And it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and I'll have it with me forever.
That tournament run, not only opening up the ballpark, hosting the regional, a lot of drama on the way to that regional title, then going to Tallahassee, and just basically having the nerve and the unity to come in and say, we don't care who you are.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
I mean, that was a big part of us. Is like, everybody, growing up as a kid, you want to go, you watch College World Series, you want to go to Mississippi State, LSU, Texas. You want to go to these schools in the South, that you see on TV all the time. It's like, Indiana's this is Indiana. Yeah. This is a big time university. This is it. You are it. And that was a big part of us, and that's what we did. Division I baseball. All you need is a chance. We took care of business, and that's what we love to do. At
what point during that, was it the season? Was it the 18-game winning streak? What was that moment where you thought, we really got a chance? We got a shot at this?
I actually told this story to the team yesterday. We came back from the Cape Cod League, the more prestigious summer league in baseball, and then we had 5 guys in the championship game. There was no other university that had more guys than Indiana. And we came back as freshmen. We sat the team down, me and Kyle Schwarber right here, and we said we just played against the best guys, LSU, Vanderbilt, the best guys in the country. There's nothing different. We are the best. We are the best. So let's go out there and let's do it. And I get goosebumps talking about it.
That's right. That's awesome.
You can probably feel
That's
the
awesome.
emotion. It's it's something we'll remember forever.
Yeah, and again, thank you for everything you did for the university and what you're still doing out there.
Oh no, thank you.
You're inspiring a lot of people. My kids are going to watch this later, and it's going to be awesome.
That's awesome. No, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
To let you go without asking you, what was Fenway like?
The best place on earth. The best place on earth. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Sam,
I know
appreciate
the
it.
game's getting,
Yeah.
we're pushing game time. So thank you so very,
Thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Appreciate it.
Honored to be here.
Thanks for your time.
Great
Great pleasure. Let's see if we can get one more.
Yeah, let's get one more.
All right. Back once again, starting to wrap it up here prior to the IU-Wisconsin game, celebrating the 2013 College World Series Hoosiers, and with us is someone who probably needs no introduction to all of us, but Kyle Schwarber, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thanks for having me.
What's it been like to be back with this team?
You know what? It's been so much fun. You know, to be able to see everyone, and when it feels like you don't miss a beat, even though you haven't seen each other in so long, you know, that's what this is all about. You know, we made such a brotherhood and such a bond when we were here, and it doesn't stop just because, you know, we're not playing baseball with each other or we're not seeing each other. You know, whenever we do get back together, it's just like that, and we all love each other so much, and we did something special here.
You and I have a mutual friend. Zach Metzger is a big deal. He and his family. Shout out to Coach Z. What's he mean to you?
Coach Z, man, you gotta love him. You know, talk about the ultimate fan, the ultimate coach. You know, the guy who, you know, one gets a lot of adversity thrown his way, but he's always got a huge smile on his face. And you know, whenever you get to see him, and you can see the way that his family. They're just such great people, and all they want to do is support and show a lot of love, and we feel the same way about him. And yeah, I mean, you can't talk about just a better person to have around Indiana in general.
Special folks, special folks. We've asked everybody this. We'll ask you this. What did you, coming from Middletown, Ohio, what that you experienced here with Tracy and the coaches and your teammates prepared you for the highest level?
Yeah, you know what? I think just we created such a winning culture here, and I think that goes to one, the coaching staff and who they brought in as players, and you know, obviously the way that they coached us and everything like that. But you know, when you bring in special people like we had, you know, all these players, you know, we'll be the first ones to tell you that, you know, that we might have not been the most talented group of individuals. You know, it's not like we were all SEC players and, you know, everyone on full rides, anything like that. A ton of walk-ons and guys who've been passed up. And, you know, we all just created this bond with each other that we were going to play for each other, and we were going to do everything that we can to, you know, put it on the other team. You know, that it was just the way that we were. You know, we had no quit. We were scrappy. You know, we made things work, and yeah, I mean, you just can't talk about the group. And you know, I'm not saying that we weren't talented, because this is definitely a talented group. And you know, obviously it shows when we go to the College World Series. We win the Big Ten. We have regionals, win regionals and things like that. But yeah, you know, I just always go back to the way that our guys were. You know, we did so many things. You know, if it was, you know, sweating, running, you know, partying, we did everything together. You know,
just like last night, right?
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
You know, we did everything together, and when you have that and everyone loves each other and want to do it for each other, that's what it's all about.
Others have referred back to your Cape League experience, but others have referred to moments in the season. When was it for you that you thought, we got a shot, we're for real?
I mean, I think that you go back to our freshman year, and we're in the Big Ten tournament, and you know, we're playing really good baseball, and obviously we go against Purdue in the Big Ten championship, and we end up losing that game in a tough game. But after that, it was like, you know what, like, this is really good, because Purdue was they were nationally ranked at the time, and you know, it was like, you know what, if we can, you know, hang around, play with these guys, why can't we do that? Then obviously we go to the Cape Cod, and we have a lot of guys up there, and you know, you're going up against the quote unquote, you know, some of the best players, and you just see that it's not different. You know, it's the same game. It really is the same game. It's just like anywhere else. It doesn't matter if you're in the big leagues or, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about, you know, big leagues, but you know, big leagues, AAA, AA, A-ball, college, high school, Little League, it's all the same game. And if you can do those little things right and execute those little things, you're going to win a lot of games.
What I've got a question for you. What during that year, the College World Series year, what moment stands out other than the obvious to you as that team, you went on to win 18 straight games that year. What stands out? Is it the?
I don't think there's any single accomplishment. I always go back to the group of guys that we had. Like, we generally love each other. Like, it's just the group was so tight, and that going to battle with these dudes and knowing that we could be good, and obviously we set goals throughout that year. Obviously we wanted to beat Louisville. We were playing Louisville three times that year. We wanted to win the series against those guys, and we did. And we ended up playing College World Series and beat them. We wanted to be nationally ranked. We accomplished that. We wanted to host a regional. We accomplished that. Chad Clark's walk-off, the most
right over here.
We had a story about that earlier.
The most underrated thing at Indiana, that not many people want to talk about, and I think that's one of the single things that propelled us to go on to the College World Series, just because we had that momentum and we were playing some pretty good teams in that regional, and then we carry it on to the Super Regional and go in there and sweep Florida State. And so yeah, I mean, there's just there's so many moments throughout the year that you can point to, but at the end of the day, it's just the individuals.
Fantastic tribute to the trust and the bond, and it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to everybody. Allow me, we're going to wrap it up. We're getting close to kickoff. Allow me to geek out for about 6 generations of my family. Tell me about the rain delay meeting, please, in Cleveland.
I mean, the biggest thing on that was just everyone's like, is there really a curse? Everyone's saying there's no way this is real. And there's a lot of emotions. People are upset. People are, pissed off. People are in a different space. And just that meeting was just to kind of get us back. A lot of people forget about that. Roldis gave up the home run, but he also went out there in the 9th inning, had a 1-2-3 inning, a huge 1-2-3 inning. And then the tarp comes on, and it's like, okay, everyone's all mad, everyone's upset, everyone's thinking about what if. And Jay Hay, calls the meeting, and he's just reminding us who we are and what we do as a team really well. And we got 1 inning, it's a 0-0 ball game. Let's go score first and see what happens. And it kind of just brought everyone back down to earth. Had their mindset right before that rain delay ended, the shortest rain delay in all of baseball, it felt like.
I'm sure it did.
I will probably never ever speak to somebody again who was in the position you were in. That first at bat, that single between first and second. What was your mindset going up to that?
I knew I was going to get a hit somehow. I knew I was going to get on base. Like, that was the mindset that I just had. It wasn't like it's just that feeling that, what's up, buddy? Hey. It's just that feeling that you have going up there that you're so locked in, and I'm like, I'm going to get this done somehow. It's either a walk, it's going to be a base hit, it could be a double, it could be whatever it is, that.
Hey, who do you have with you?
This is my little man, Cade. So,
hi, Cade.
But, there's just no doubt in my mind that I wanted to get the job done, and obviously we get that job done, and Albert Moore with the biggest play that people don't realize is the tag up at first base, going to second base on a deep fly ball to center field, and that's how they intentionally rock Rizzo, and next thing you know, Ben Zervis just double down the line. Miguel Montero, big hit too, that wins the game for us, and the rest was history.
Yeah,
that's right.
But from what you've told me, We Never Quit was actually born over here. That was instilled with you from this group.
Yeah,
and it was a common thing champions do.
Yeah, I said that last night, that we were able to talk to each other, and we instilled a sense of winning and a sense of pride in what we do on a daily basis here. I don't think that we just set the tone for teams in just the baseball program. I think we did that in general for the university. And don't get me wrong, there's great teams here. You have a great soccer team that wins national championships, and you got great basketball teams, great football team. I just think that if people were able to see the bond and everything that we had, and they can try to preach that around their teams. And obviously, you have a great women's basketball team right now too. That's taken off. If they can preach all that and bring everyone together, sky's the limit. Anything can happen. Once you have that love for each other and you want to do it for each other, that's going to take you to that next step. Talent can only take you so far. talent can only take you so far. You got to believe in one another to take it to that next level.
Well,
and that's why they're all back.
That's right. That's right. Again, we can't thank you enough.
No.
My kids love watching you, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people out there. So thank you for everything that you've done for this university and professionally.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
Kyle,
Thank you guys for having us
Another
on.
man
Thank you, guys.
who's made me weep openly as an adult. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you, guys.
everything.
I appreciate it.
Well,
Kyle Schwarber, perfect way to wrap this up.
That's right.
Let's head inside and go get the Badgers.
Let's go get a win. That's right. Thank you, guys, everyone. We'll see you next time here from iAssociation Live.